Nobody is needing anything right now, right? All just taking the readings?
Yep.
This one doesn't seem to be... Keep going, keep going. Okay, I don't know, this one doesn't seem to be working. Uh-oh, too much.
Well, I've always loved science. I've always loved understanding the way things work. So I guess I was just always good at science, and then I just started studying science in school, and I found that the only way I could really prepare for exams and things like that was to try to teach what I was learning to someone who wasn't even in the room. But I found that I loved teaching, and it helped me understand things in a more deep way. I think that's why I became a science teacher. Big difference, and I think both are really important components of science. It's really important to understand the theory. Otherwise, when you're doing experiments, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and there's not really even a point to do it if you can't make sense of what it is you're trying to test, what it is you're looking for. So teaching in the lab is one of the most important components of science. It's where people get to experience science. It's where most people fall in love with science. Very few people fall in love with the theory of it, but a lot of people fall in love with being in the lab and making things happen, really experiencing something. I think that's one of the greatest values of lab work and, science in general. It's not just theoretical. You can really do things. You can really make things happen and, come up with ideas and test them. Well, what we were doing was we were testing benzoic acid, and we were testing its freezing point and seeing how that freezing point was affected by the addition of another substance. You can think about this in a common experience with salt. We put salt on the road in the winter to lower the freezing point of water so that the ice will form at a much lower temperature to keep the road safe for driving. So we were testing benzoic acid, and we were adding something called potassium ethanoate, and we added a few different concentrations of that, and then we tested to see how that affected the freezing point of this organic compound, benzoic acid. I feel like through the experiment, everything becomes much more concrete in your mind. So the real understanding of what it's about, rather than just talking about it, they can actually see, they melted the benzoic acid, and then they watched as it gradually solidified over time. So they could see that the freezing point was lowered considerably by the addition of a certain amount of solute, and then more solute caused it to be lowered even a greater degree. So there are many benefits to that, and I feel like the concrete understanding, like the actual understanding of chemistry, it sort of goes way beyond just benzoic acid and potassium ethanoate. That might not even seem so concrete for people, but lighting the Bunsen burner, melting the substance, watching it solidify, experiencing that freezing point be depressed, they learn a lot about the nature of reality, some of it even intuitively, some of it experientially. BIA is a small school, which has many benefits, just being a small school because of the close teacher-student interaction. But being a small school means some of our resources are limited. But the wonderful thing about the chemistry department now is that we are like a 5-minute walk away from the University of Bridgeport's chemistry lab. So the students can experience the lab in an actual university chemistry lab. So that takes all the scariness of taking college chemistry kind of out of the picture, because they have practical experience in that lab. We have access to all of the equipment that they have, all the high-level, measuring devices and all kinds of things that they have access to that we wouldn't normally have access to, just because we're right here, because we have a relationship with the university. So who that benefits most, obviously, is going to be any of the students that are interested in science and who will be studying science in college. For them, it's incredibly beneficial to be able to do that. But also for students that, probably wouldn't study chemistry in college, at least they get a taste of what that's like, what it's like to be in an actual chemistry lab, and now they're doing lab write-ups right now, so they're also experiencing a higher level lab write-up and responsible reporting of what they've learned in the lab. So all of those things are of great benefit for, I think, for all the students.